Hello, everybody. Jay Real here once again on Midday with Jay. And I sure hope I'm going to have someone joining me today. I sent I talked to Jake last night and asked him if he might be up for joining me today. And I believe he said he would. I sent him the link, so hopefully he got it. Hopefully he's going to show up at some point. He's not here yet, but anyway, we will carry on regardless of what happens. I hope. Now, first off, I'm supposed to be in full high definition now, 1080p, because unknown to me, and I found this out this morning, my subscription to StreamYard has changed. They did have a sort of a basement level that was about $20 a month, but you could only get up to 720. As far as the definition. But apparently they no longer have that subscription rate. So now I'm paying over twice that, apparently. It's like $44.90, nearly $45 a month. I'm going to keep my subscription. I'll pay that extra $20 or more. But also, I'm supposed to be able to be in full high definition now, 1080p. So am I crisper and clearer? Hopefully I am. And hopefully we're not going to have those issues that I had before with my voice messing up and freezing and all that stuff. We'll see. When this is, actually posted, we'll see how this looks. Hopefully it looks good. What else? My father had a sporting goods store back in the 70s and 80s, and there's a red building here by my house, this trailer house here. And the roof has been falling in. It's a tin roof. Got the metal tin sheets of tin or whatever it's made out of. Some of those have come loose. Anyway, it's looking in pretty rough shape. And I've got a couple of guys that I think are supposed to show up today and start rebuilding the roof and fixing it up. And they're only charging me $200 for the whole thing, which is really cheap. And so hopefully all that turns out well. So anyway, if I have to step away here for a moment, I hope you guys will bear with me. If I need to talk to them, and there's a guy, another neighbor wanted to use my cell phone. His cell phone's been disconnected. He wanted to use my cell phone. So if there's a knock at the door, bear with me. I may have to step away for a moment. I'll try not to be long. But yeah, and the weather has cooled off. It's still like in the mid 80s, but in Texas heat, to go from 110 degrees to the mid 80s feels really nice. And overnights in like the upper 50s and low 60s. Cool nights, warm sunny days. Very nice. So now, you folks in Florida, I hope you guys are safe and will remain safe. Wes from deadpit.com, the Dead Pit channel, he's in Florida. He's been in Florida. And he posted a little video of he's staying in a condominium there, and he showed it's by the ocean front, showing the waves, kicking up, showing the wind coming. But hopefully it's not going to be anything really bad where he's at. But yeah, definitely thinking about you guys in Florida. If there's anybody watching from Florida, I hope everyone stays safe from the hurricane. And and still not seeing my guest. Oh, Jake, come on, Jake. Like say, I will do this by myself. If I have to do it by myself, I'll do it by myself. But I would always much rather have a guest joining me. on anything I do, not just the midday show, but the stuff I do at night, the Being Real show and all that. I always want someone joining me. I'm trying to get better at doing things by myself and being more talkative and thinking of things to say, but I'll always want someone joining me if I can have someone on the show with me. So I would much prefer that. So, but like I say, I'll do this by myself if I have to. Hopefully, I won't have to. But like so far, I don't have my guest showing up, Jake, and that's the word that I put out to anybody else that might want to join me live. Let me know, and we'll talk about it, and I can send you the links and stuff like that to join me live. And we got someone speaking up here. And it's William Blasco. I believe you're a newcomer here, William. He says, I'm in South Georgia. Got a little rough where we are, but nowhere near what they projected. Dodged the bullet. Well, good. Glad to hear that, William. Yeah. Because they say it's going up to Georgia, and it's going to go up, north, and a lot of states, or several states, are going to get a lot of rain, might get some high winds, but the hurricane force winds will die down. It won't be as bad, but there's still several states that are going to get a lot of rain, and so hopefully everyone's going to be safe through all this. Here in Texas, it's sunny, it's clear, and relatively cool for this part of Texas. So yeah, and the forecast for the next 10 days at least is just that. Clear and sunny and hopefully pretty. And I guess this is appearing here. Hang on. Let's add him and I for horror. I see.
Oh, crap.
Yeah, there you go. I see the very top of your head there. There you go. There's Jake.
Hey, Jay, long time no talk, man.
Yeah, it's been a while. Jake the Horror Movie Geek. Jake has got his own channel, An Eye for Horror. And so let's start off with what have you got coming up, Jake, on your channel?
Well, I have a couple of interviews that I've yet to post, and I really need to try and get more guests. I haven't been as active as I'd like to be on my channel.
Well, and you're doing something on another. What is it? What is it? You're doing something on another channel or something like that.
TikTok. It's
TikTok.
Yeah, it's like, but I just have to find that balance between TikTok and YouTube. Because I love interviewing. It's just, I don't know, but.
Well, if folks want to look you up on TikTok, is it the same thing? Is it An Eye for Horror, or do you have a different name?
Actually, it's Big Jake 88, and it's you see my beautiful face. No, and I make these videos and stuff, and I don't know, it's just. Yeah.
Well, you interview folks they're like stars in horror films and things like that, and you do your own stuff talking about movies and stuff, and your handle on Facebook is Eye for Horror, but also Jake the Horror Movie Geek. So you're a big horror movie fan, and I am too, but. And you've got some great interviews. But yeah, people go in and look up Jake's channel, Eye for Horror, and TikTok is what's that again?
It's like a.
Well, I mean, your name on TikTok.
So sorry. Good Lord. Big Jake 88.
Big Jake 88. Okay. Yeah. Good deal. Well, yeah, and You're in Ohio, so I guess you're not going to deal with any of the hurricane. uh,
No, no, but
yeah.
I hope everyone is as safe as they can be with that going on. I don't know. It's just sad, you know.
Well, like I say, the creepy Kentuckian, Wes from Dead Pit, he's in Florida.
Hey, Shane.
Yeah. And he posted a video. He's right by the ocean front and at a condo, and he was showing the winds coming in and those big waves coming in. So hopefully he's going to stay safe. Um, but uh, but yeah, and we had William Blasco here. He's in South Georgia. Georgia's going to get it too, or getting it. Uh, and but he says that things wasn't too bad there, but
Thank you, Shane.
so. Uh, but yeah, like I say, that here on my end, um, I got some folks hopefully going to be working on this building by my house here. It used to be my dad's old sporting goods store, and fixing up the roof and getting much needed repairs there. So that's good. They're supposed to be showing up sometime today, I hope. Um, and beep beep. uh, and but yeah, the weather's really nice here. And after going through such a our typical brutal Texas summer, to have the weather, it's like in the mid 80s for us. It's just wonderful, just great.
Oh, nice.
And we're certainly not dealing with anything like folks in Florida and Georgia and stuff are dealing with. Yeah, it's just pretty and sunny, and yeah. So fall time, and we're about to enter the month of October. What kind of plans do you have for October, Jake? The
Um,
Halloween month.
I would like to go to a haunted house, and maybe a Halloween party or something like that. Besides scary movies, obviously, and try and get a good podcast, a good guest. That would be. How about you, Jay?
No plans, because like I say, I live out here by myself. I don't drive, because I'm legally blind. I don't never have had a driver's license. I don't drive, and I don't really have. I've got really nice neighbors that help me out, getting to town and things like that. But I really don't have anyone to go see movies with, or go do something like that. Go to a haunted house with, or something like that. It'd be cool to do that. So my plan is just to stream a bunch of horror films at home, um, and then probably would do something here. Uh, I tell you, Jake, do you have plans tomorrow night around? I guess it'd be 8 o'clock your time.
Not that I know of yet.
Yeah, we don't have to make the plan, but just give it some thought. I'd like to do a basket case watch along. Uh,
Okay,
it's streaming on Shutter, um, and it's probably my favorite of what I would call a drive-in movie. It's my basket case. I love basket case. Yeah, and I think that'd be a fun watch along to do basket case if you have a copy of it or if you're able to stream it, like it's its own Shutter. Um, so,
it
and
would.
just give it some thought. It'd be tomorrow, 7 o'clock my time, 8 o'clock your time. Um,
Okay.
give it some thought, because I think that'd be a fun watch along. I'll talk to Dirk, see if maybe Dirk can join us, um, and anyone else that might want to join us. But I think that'd be a fun watch along basket case. Um, but and hang on, we got a comment here. We got subjective perspective. Speaking of Dirk, and he said he sorry couldn't make it. Jay, he's still working. Yeah, he paints like houses and stuff. Dirk does. So
Hey, thanks, Shane.
yeah, and he's in Louisiana, which had a hurricane hit their area, a couple of weeks ago. But he didn't get anything really bad where he was at. So,
Thank God.
yeah. But yeah, we'll definitely do a show where we'll just talk about Halloween. The closer we get to Halloween, we'll do a show, or probably more than one show, talking about Halloween. Maybe talk about some we'll do the Halloween memories, just memories of Halloween and trick or treating growing up and that kind of thing. That'd be a fun show, I think.
Absolutely.
And but yeah, and the reviews from, and it's a festival in Austin, um, and I'm trying to Fantastic Fest or something like that in Austin. But anyway, there's been several horror films. One has got Demi Moore, and it's a body horror film. Uh, the Substance, I think it's called.
The
Uh,
substance.
and it's like something that David Cronenberg would have made a body horror film. And it's Demi Moore, which I haven't seen in forever. She
Right.
still looks really good. I've seen clips. I watched the trailer. She still looks really good, Demi Moore. But it's a body horror where she's an aging actress. She wants to look young again. So she finds this guy that has some kind of injectable fluid that if you inject it, you you're you actually become young again. But it's supposed to be some really gruesome body effects where the skin rips open and the younger person comes out and stuff like that.
Ooh.
They say it's really gruesome, really gory. Uh, but anyway, and Demi Moore, they say it's an Oscar-worthy performance of hers. So I'm really anxious to see that, and it's The Substance, I believe it's called.
The
Um,
substance. Okay.
yeah, with Demi Moore, which I like to say, it'd be great to see her again. And I watched go watch the trailer, The Substance. She still looks really good. I don't know how old she's got to be, like in her 60s or something, Demi Moore, but she's still looking really good. And we got Texas HXC 1965. Good afternoon, Jay. And he says, I saw The Substance last Saturday. It's my favorite horror movie of the year. So, yeah, yeah. Uh, and that body horror stuff, like Cronenberg used to do, you know. Uh, and it's directed by a woman, I believe. Uh, but yeah, I'm anxious to see The Substance, and to see Demi Moore again, and say her performance is really good. Um, so yeah, well, cool. Um, but anyway, another film that premiered at that festival was Terrifier 3.
Ah, yes.
And all the reviews I've seen says, well, if you love the first two, you're going to love Terrifier 3 even more. Uh, that it's the best of the three. Um, it brings back the girl from Terrifier 2 that's sort of battling Art the Clown, brings her back. I don't know if it brings back the little kid clown.
Oh yeah, it was creepy as hell.
Yeah, I think she comes back, but I'm not positive. But in Terrifier 1, there's the famous scene with the girl hung upside down and split in half, and then in Terrifier 2, of course, it's the bedroom scene,
Ooh.
and they say Terrifier 3, it's the shower scene. That if you love the psycho shower scene, this one beats it all to hell. The shower scene in Terrifier 3. Uh, so it's going to be what the bedroom scene was in Terrifier 2. It's the shower scene in Terrifier 3.
Oh no, I can't imagine.
And they say, of course, the gore is amazing. They say, and of course, the director, does the gore effects also. But yeah, they say Terrifier 3 is amazing. That if you love the first two, you're gonna love. And of course, it takes place during Christmas time, which is great. So,
Yeah.
yeah. So definitely things to look forward to, and that comes out in October. I forget what the date is, but yeah, Terrifier 3 comes out in October. Um, so, and I'll have to wait and see because I don't have anyone to go to a movie with. So, but definitely looking forward to that. And The Substance. After watching a review of it last night, I can't wait to see that. To see The Substance. See Demi Moore.
I heard about this one movie, Never Let Go, and it has Halle Berry in it.
Yes, and I watched it. The same guy that reviewed The Substance reviewed that, and said I think he said it might be his favorite film of 2024. Uh, you know, I'm not sure if that was the same one though. But anyway, he said it was really good. Said she was really good. Halle Berry was really good in it. Um, I'm not sure if that was the one he said that was his favorite, but he said it was really good, and her performance was really good. Yeah. Um, so yeah, definitely some things to look forward to, and of course Halloween coming. Um, and here in a little bit, I'm going to bring up some more John Carpenter films, uh, and talk about those. I watched one last night, which is one of my favorites. Um, but anyway, um, I was trying to think what else. Um, and of course, still trying to get actors for my movie. I got the two sister characters cast. Had a great meeting with them where they came over and we visited. One had her mother with her. That went really well. I think they're going to be great. They look like the characters and that I imagine, in my brain when I'm writing the story. And the meeting went really well, so I'm really looking forward to that. But there's two male actors I need, and they're playing former child molesters, so it's not like the most fun role to play. But I tried to write them as interesting characters and characters that even though you're playing a bad guy, you would want to play the character. So I'll find them eventually. I've always been really lucky finding actors for my short films, so I'll find them eventually, but would really like to get started by next month when things are cooling off more. I'd love to get started, actually start filming. And I actually start using that damn camera that I bought, that I spent nearly $600 for, and I haven't been using, um, and learn how to use that. It's a 4K camera, and 4K is a huge file. As far as when you're editing, it's a huge file. It's like 2 or 3 times the size of like high definition file. But on my camera, it's got what's called 4K Light, Light, which is it's like a compressed version of 4K. And the file size is like about the size of a high definition file, and maybe even less than that. So it'd be a lot easier to work with, but still maintaining the sharpness and the clarity and all that. So hopefully that's going to work out well. So, but yeah, definitely looking forward to that. Getting started on that. Still got to cast the 2 male actors, and what else is going here? Here in Texas, I'm not going to it, but the State Fair of Texas is on right now. I see it on television. Um, and where is that? It's in the Dallas area, I believe. Yeah, I think so. State Fair of Texas. Fairs, and now we're entering, the time where there's a bunch of fairs, popping up and things like that. And and of course, entering the Halloween time. Of course, you go to Walmart; they put the Halloween stuff out in September. So,
they've got Christmas stuff out, in places too.
yeah, exactly. Around August and September, you start seeing the Christmas stuff. Awesome. uh, so, yeah, um, but what'd you say, Jake?
Oh, I'm live on TikTok, so I'm talking with you, and I'm simultaneously doing TikTok and Midday with Jay.
Oh, okay, cool. We've got 2 streams going on. So, okay. Well, Dan, I guess let's talk about John Carpenter. Now, I did a show where I talked about 3 of his films. Oh, hang on. I think that's what do you call it? They're trying to sell me something. My cell phone. Yeah. But let's see. I'm seeing we got 5 people here. Yeah, if you're here and you're watching, give us a comment, let us know, and please give us a thumbs up. Because like so we got two streams going for my channel and for Jake's channel. But I guess let's start off with John Carpenter. I did 3 of his films, talked about The Thing, talked about Christine, and well, what did I talk? You suggested it, but with the green goop in the canister.
Prince of Darkness.
Prince of Darkness, yeah. Talked about those films, and I said, The Thing is my favorite horror film ever. You know, there's films like The Exorcist, Texas Chainsaw Massacre that are right up there. Jaws is my favorite movie, which some people would consider a horror film. I don't know if I consider Jaws to be a horror film, but The Thing is, without a doubt, my favorite horror film, my favorite John Carpenter film. I may do a show and just talk about The Thing someday. I mean, there's so much about The Thing I love. The effects, the Rob Bottin effects, and of course all the actors, and just the direction by Carpenter and just everything. But I thought we'd talk about 3 more films, because Carpenter probably is my favorite horror director. That when he was at his peak, there was no one that could beat Carpenter. No one could match him for just the style of directing and the ideas he had and everything. So we'll begin, and I watched this last night. It's on Netflix, Assault on Precinct 13, which is right up there. It may be my second or third favorite Carpenter movie. And one of his really early films. He made this before he made Halloween. 1976. I think it might have came out in 77, but he filmed it in 76, I believe. And gosh, great directing, great action set pieces. And basically it's a story about a police station, Precinct 13, which is being shut down. They're closing up. So they've got a skeleton crew there, have a secretary, there's a police officer, but they're no longer operational. Precinct 13. They're shutting down and moving to another location. So they just have a bare bones, staff there at Precinct 13, taking calls and telling people where the new precinct's going to be. It's shutting down. Well, this is in Los Angeles, and there's Los Angeles gangs are running amok. And at the very beginning of the movie, you have several members of a Los Angeles gang, and they're about to cause havoc, but the police are waiting for them. They're up on top of a building with shotguns, and they mow them down. They shoot the bad guys. They shoot the gang members. Well, the other members of the gang are pissed off about that. They're pissed off that their members have been shot down by the police. So they're going to get even for that. And basically, they plan on just going on a killing spree. Just like, they fuck with us, we're going to fuck with them, the police, And so they're just going to find some people to just mow down, to just kill randomly. Well, we meet in a car driving. We meet a man and his little girl, his daughter. And Jake, can you remember where they're heading? Is it like is it his mother's house, the grandmother's house that they're heading?
I can't remember.
Anyway, they're driving. They're going to meet someone. I think it might be the grandmother, the mother of the father. And so we get introduced to this little girl and her father, cute little girl and her father. And then they stop at a phone booth because the father needs to make a call, I guess, to the wherever they're going to be going to. He needs to make a call. And while he's making a call, the little girl sees an ice cream truck pulling up the road. Yeah, I want some ice cream, So he's on the phone. He's busy. He hands her some change, to go buy her an ice cream cone. So she runs over, but what the little girl hasn't seen is one of the gang a couple of those gang members have run up to the guy at the ice cream truck, and the guy in the ice cream truck sees these gang members and he's scared. But the little girl walks up, yeah, I want some ice cream, I want an ice cream cone, and he's trying to sort of shoo her off, but he can't do it. She wants her an ice cream cone, so he goes, she wants a vanilla twist. So he makes her an ice cream cone, hands her the ice cream cone. She walks off. And then these gang members show up and they apprehend the guy driving the ice cream truck. They've got a pistol with silencers. They got silencers and pistols. And they conk him in the head, knock him out, the guy at the ice cream truck. Well, the little girl looks at her ice cream cone and sees she's not got the right one. It's just a vanilla. She wanted the vanilla twist. So she runs back up to the guy, the ice cream truck. And we've got one of the early examples of a child being killed. And it's still pretty shocking, even watching it today. I watched it last night, and it still kind of takes you back. It's happened so suddenly. The little girl walks up to the ice cream truck, and she's, kind of trying to, she doesn't see the guy's lying on the ground. He's been knocked out. But the guy driving the ice cream truck, she doesn't see that. But she walks up and says, I wanted a twist. I wanted a vanilla twist. And one of the gang members has got his pistol with a silencer. He doesn't even look at her. He just points the gun at her and fires and shoots her right in the chest. And you see blood splatter, and you see her drop dead. And I can imagine at the time, this was 76, 77, that must have been pretty shocking to see that, to see this little girl getting shot like that.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And but I'm assuming you've seen the movie, Jake.
Not the whole thing.
Well, you got to see the whole thing.
I know.
If you have Netflix, go to Netflix and watch it, because it's really good and really tense. And but anyway, long story short, the father comes out of the phone booth. He sees his dead daughter on the ground, and of course he's grief stricken. And he sees the gang members driving off. Well, in his dying breath, the guy that's driving the police truck tells him there's a gun on the dash. So the father grabs the gun and he gets in his car and goes chasing after the gang members. Well, he manages to shoot and kill one of them, but then a bunch of the others come running up, chasing him, and he runs and he finds Precinct 13, and he runs into Precinct 13. And of course, he can't talk. He's so full of shock of his daughter being killed. He can't really talk. He really can't communicate. So they're like, what happened? What happened? He really can't talk to him because he's so full of grief. Well, now, here's something else that's going on. There is a prison bus on the way to a destination full of prisoners. And one of them is a pretty famous killer, and he's kind of charismatic, they all look up to him. The other prisoners look up to this guy. Even the police are kind of like, kind of see him as sort of a big deal, this guy, Well, they're heading for a destination when it's going to take like 6 hours to get there. And someone on the prison bus is sick and needs medical attention. So they pull up to Precinct 13. And a black police officer that's in there walks out and says, look, we're closed. We're no longer a police station. You don't have to go somewhere else. Because, look, we've got a guy that's sick here. on the bus. Can we put the prisoners in a holding cell until we can get some help? And he said, well, okay. So you get the prisoners come in and they put them in a holding cell. And the gang members have been chasing the father with the dead daughter, and they chase him towards Precinct 13. So now the gang members lay siege on Precinct 13. They want that guy. They want the father. That's what they're after. But they're shooting the place up. And Precinct 13. So you got the black police officer, you got this woman secretary, and you've got all these, there's new folks that are in there. You got the prisoners in the holding cell.
Hello?
And they're shooting up Precinct 13. And it's just great. The bullets flying look so realistic. The bullets in this movie look real. They look like it looks like someone is actually shooting the place up with a real shotgun or real, pistols or whatever. Very realistic. And I won't go into the whole plot. I don't want to spoil for folks that haven't seen it. Go to Netflix, Assault on Precinct 13. Look it up and watch it because it's great. It's really tense. It's got a great ending. And an early example of John Carpenter, his great direction, just everything about it, I think is really good. So I put it way up there as far as his movies. So yeah, but yeah, Assault on Precinct 13, great film. And if you haven't seen it, Jake, you need to go and watch the whole thing. Go to Netflix and watch it, and tell me this ain't like. When you see it, you're going to think, man, this is like one of his best films. Because it's really, and like I say, the bullets look so realistic when they're shooting the police station up and the glass is flying and shit. It looks like someone was just, behind the camera, just actually shooting the place up. It looks so realistic. I'm sure it was just squibs and stuff like that, but it looks real. So yeah, go watch Assault on Precinct 13. Now, the next one, the Carpenter film, and I want to pull up the Wikipedia so that I get all the facts straight here. I saw this. I've seen this movie several times. I saw it here recently, a few months ago, and that is They Live. Okay. Now we got a movie you've seen. Yeah, and we've got basically in They Live, we've got a homeless man looking for work. And he's played by the wrestler Roddy Piper, who I met at Texas Frightmare Weekend. I had a real nice talk with him. Well, he passed away a few years ago. He had cancer, which is just terrible because he was such a nice guy. But I had a really nice talk with Roddy Piper. But anyway, he's this homeless guy and he's looking for work. And, he finds a job, doing, menial labor, that kind of thing. And he finds a camp where there's a bunch of other homeless people that are staying at this camp. And who is it? Keith David?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Meg Foster.
And Meg Foster, yeah. And he meets Keith David that, they kind of sharing the same, dilemma, looking for work. They're homeless and kind of out in the open. So they're staying at this camp. They have electricity there. They got a place where they can sleep, food they can eat. And while they're finding these jobs, menial labor, that kind of thing. Well, at this same camp, there's he's like a preacher. And he's gathering the guys around, the people around the camp, and basically saying, look, you're being led, you're being controlled, you're being manipulated by outside forces that that have to be stopped. You're a puppet. You're being controlled. And they're like, well, I don't know what this guy's talking about. Uh, so eventually, the Roddy Piper is talking to a guy that gives him a pair of, looks like just an ordinary pair of sunglasses, and says, put these on. And he's like, oh, okay. So he goes out to the city and he puts on those sunglasses. And when he puts the glasses on, it kind of turns into like a black and white image. And he can see normal looking people, but walking around these normal looking people are bug-eyed aliens. And it's great that the makeup they did on these aliens. They look like something like from the 1950s or something. They got bug eyes, and they're the look of the aliens is so great. It's kind of a throwback to like a 50s, like I say, a 50s alien movie or something like that, science fiction movie. I love the look of the aliens. And when you look at like advertisements or a newspaper or a magazine, without the glasses, they look like just normal billboards, normal magazines, normal newspapers. But when you put on these shades, you see signs that say consume, reproduce, obey, So Roddy Piper finds out that aliens have taken over the earth and they're controlling human beings by these subliminal messages that what you think you're seeing in a normal magazine or a normal billboard or a normal newspaper has these subliminal messages that are controlling you. Reproduce, obey, and that kind of thing. Well, so this group at this homeless camp are gathering together and making plans to bring these aliens down. And what needs to be done is they have this like big satellite dish thing that's beaming these images that's controlling humanity. That they need to bring that down so people can see reality, see that we're being controlled by aliens and we're being manipulated. And that all these billboards and magazines and stuff are telling us, obey and reproduce and stuff. Well, and I'll get Jake to talk about this. One of the greatest scenes in a Carpenter movie, Jake knows what I'm going to say, is he goes to Keith David, Roddy Piper, with a pair of those shades. There's a big crate of those shades that people are wearing where they can see reality. He goes up to Keith David and says, look, put these shades on and look at what's going around. Well, Keith David doesn't want to put on the shades. He don't like being told what to do. No, fuck you. I'm not going to put those shades on. And we get, how long does this fight go on, Jake?
15, 20 minutes. It's like just the greatest fight scene in a John Carpenter movie.
It goes on for a ridiculous amount of time. It's Roddy Piper and Keith David fighting each other, punching each other, picking up boards and whacking each other over the head and throwing each other. And it goes on and on and on and on. Where Roddy Piper's trying to force Keith David to put on these shades so he can see reality the way things really are. He won't do it. And it is amazing, that fight. That just goes on for, it feels like it goes on for like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
It is the most incredible fight, the most amazing fight you have ever seen. If you see They Live for any other reason, watch it for that fight between Roddy Piper and Keith David. And it's historic, that fight. And fans of Carpenter or fans of these kind of movies, it is history making, the fight between Keith David and Roddy Piper. uh, it has to be seen to be believed. If you haven't seen it, you have to see it. I'm sure it's streaming somewhere. I want to say it was streaming on the Amazon channel, maybe on Tubi. Look it up. And like I say, if you don't watch it for any other reason, watch They Live for that fight. um, but anyway, he finally is able to convince Keith David to put on those shades, and then Keith David sees what's going on. He sees, there's aliens, and the billboards and signs and stuff are having these subliminal messages of obey and reproduce and all that. He sees what's really going down. So they're all banding together to battle these aliens and take down their transmitter that's transmitting all these subliminal messages to humanity, so that humans can see what the fuck is going on, what's reality. And once again, I'll let Jake say it, one of the greatest lines in a Carpenter film. Say it, Jake.
Oh yeah, I came here to do two things: kick ass and chew bubblegum, and I'm all out of bubblegum.
And which was improvised. I looked it up on Wikipedia, or I looked up on some site, and he just made that up. Carpenter basically said, look, you're going to enter, I think it's a bank he's entering into. He says, look, you're going into this bank. You know there's aliens there. And just say something heroic. You're going to say something, just whatever, just say it. And then Popper said, well, okay. And he said, yeah, well, I just did it. I came to chew bubble gum and kick ass, and I'm all out of bubble gum. And that's one of the greatest lines in not only Carpenter history, but in movie history, one of the greatest lines ever. Yeah. I came to kick ass and chew bubble gum. I'm all out of bubble. I came to chew bubble gum and kick ass, and I'm all out of bubble gum. So, but anyway, it's a great movie. It's funny. It's one of the more comedic movies of Carpenter's filmography. Got one of the funniest endings in any movie, particularly a Carpenter movie. It's got a hilarious ending with an alien. You see an alien that's in bed with this woman or a prostitute or something like that. It's got a hilarious ending. But anyways, great action, great performance by Roddy Piper and Keith David. And of course, that amazing fight, that just feels like it goes on for half the movie. But yeah, if you haven't seen They Live, well, don't waste time. Go and watch They Live. It's a lot of fun. Like I say, the look of the aliens is so cool. And that subliminal message business, because I think this movie came out in '88, I believe. So the whole Reaganomics business was going on. And some people sort of made that connection between, the Reagan years and this film, this sort of being controlled by outside forces or being manipulated, and the things that we think and the things we do were being manipulated. I don't know if if Carpenter made that intentionally to sort of correlate with the Reagan years or that kind of thing, but there's some people that have said that. But anyway, great movie, a lot of fun. One of his most fun movies, They Live. And just that great performance by Roddy Piper. And like I say, I met him. He was just the nicest guy in the world. At conventions, he was so nice. He took time and talked with people and visited with people. He was so cool. And being fans of him and his wrestling career and all that. But just so bad to lose him so young. He wasn't very old, but yeah. But yeah, They Live. And the last one I'll talk about is one that you don't hear mentioned a lot. When you hear folks talking about Carpenter films, and that is Starman. Uh, have you seen it, Jake?
A long time ago, but it was before I was really into Carpenter, so it was kind of confusing.
Um, well, Starman is got Jeff Bridges and Karen Allen, of course, from Indiana Jones, for the Raiders of the Lost Ark. Karen Allen and Jeff Bridges. Uh, and you see at the beginning of the movie, you see this satellite going through space that's got like a recording of different things from Earth. That if aliens were to find it, it's kind of a greeting, from Earth. And that actually happened. It was like, I don't know, 50 years ago or something like that. This satellite was put into space. It has recordings of different things from Earth. That if any alien being were to find it, they would know about Earth and they would know some things about Earth. Well, Jeff Bridges is an alien traveling through space in his spaceship, and he finds that satellite, and is that he and communicates with his home planet. Well, he's going to visit Earth and make friends with the Earthlings. But of course, what happens when his spaceship shows up on Earth? They shoot the fucker down. Yeah, that's how friendly humans are. Is yeah. Oh God, look at that! And they shoot it down, and it crashes. And Jeff Bridges is kind of like a beam of light, this sort of glowing orb that floats, through the air. He doesn't really have a solid form. He's sort of light. He's sort of a glowing ball of light. And he goes to a house, this beam of light, Karen Allen's house. And Karen Allen's husband has died. I forget how he died, but she's a widow. And Jeff Bridges' alien beam goes into her house and sees a picture of her husband, and basically makes himself into an exact image of her husband. I guess so he can communicate with Earthlings, becomes human so he can communicate with Earthlings. Well, of course, when Karen Allen sees her husband standing there that's supposed to be dead, she freaks out and screams at him and throws stuff at him. I forget, it's been a while since I've seen it. Runs him off. Eventually, he's able to convince Karen Allen that he's not here to hurt her. He needs to get back to his planet because if he stays on Earth too long, he's going to die. The atmosphere or whatever is going to kill him. So he needs to get back to a certain point. I forget where it is, in the desert or something like that. He needs to get to where he can communicate with his home planet where they can come and get him. But hang on, we've got some comments here. It's my sister. Hey, Jay, and Texas, and Jake. Hey, sis. Hey, sis. But anyway, long story short, Jeff Bridges, now looking like Karen Allen's husband, she gets to where she trusts him and eventually basically falls back in love with him again. Because he looks just like her husband, and he's kind to her, he's nice to her. He talks in this broken English. I'm not here to hurt you, and I mean you no harm. Great performance by Jeff Bridges and Karen Allen. But long story short, I don't want to spoil it for folks who haven't seen it. Hopefully it's streaming somewhere. Starman, go look it up. But this movie has a lot of heart to it. It gets emotional. It shows Carpenter could make a movie like that. He could make a movie that has heart, has feelings. You actually are touched by different moments in the movie. This relationship between Jeff Bridges and Karen Allen, this alien that looks like her husband, and Karen Allen. And I won't spoil the ending. Well, does it have a happy ending? Well, it's a happy movie, basically. So, yeah, it has a happy. I'll say that it has a happy ending. But I won't spoil the ending. For those that haven't seen it, go see Starman. But it is an example of what Carpenter could do, that he could do something like this. And I don't hear it get talked about much. And I think folks that are fans of Carpenter should, if you haven't seen Starman, you really should see it. It shows what he's capable of in doing something that has genuine emotion and heart and good feelings. Um, and yeah, so go look up Starman if you haven't seen it. Look up Starman. It's a really good movie. Um, so okay, I guess that does it for Carpenter for now. Uh, and I guess we can briefly, we'll do this again probably, but briefly talk about Halloween coming up. Um, give me a memory or two, Jake, of trick or treating. Something that sticks out. I've got one that sticks out, but just a memory where maybe something happened that was, I don't know, unusual or something noteworthy that you can remember.
Noteworthy. In the early '90s, my mom and dad. This is before people got offended. But, my dad was Michael Jackson, and my mom was Lisa Marie. Yeah, there's even a picture somewhere.
I'm on your own channel if you're able to do it. Post that picture. I want to see that.
I need to. Yeah,
But yeah, at one point, for like a few months, Michael Jackson was married to Lisa Marie Presley, uh, and that was one of the most bizarre couplings in history. Was Michael Jackson and Lisa Marie Presley. Um, but yeah, uh, and I remember, I don't know, it was like the Grammys or something like that, and they were on stage together, Michael Jackson and Lisa Marie Presley, and they kissed, and you could just hear. I think you could hear some people going, "Ooh," just, "Ooh." It was older Michael where he started because he was doing all this stuff to his face and plastic surgery and stuff, and just watching them kiss was just kind of repulsive. It's like, oh, you know, uh, and but yeah, I remember that Michael Jackson. But just yeah, you got to post that picture of your of them as Michael Jackson and Lisa Marie. Uh, well, my memory is with my friend Morgan McBride. I might have been nine, about 9, 10 years old. And I was a ghost, and it was a bad ghost because it was a sheet over my head, and then my mother had put like a ribbon or something around my neck and kind of tied it, and I looked like I was from the Ku Klux Klan.
Oh,
It did, and it had that the tip at the end of it, the pointed top, and then I looked like I was from the Ku Klux Klan. It looked terrible, and I was supposed to be a ghost. But hang on, we got a comment. My sister says something here. Remember the video they made where they're naked? You can see nothing but her back and I think his side, but I thought that was bizarre. I think I remember that. Was it Michael and Lisa Marie naked? Oh my God. Oh my God. Yeah. I can say you something. Maybe you could Google that, but I don't know if I want to Google that. I kind of vaguely remember it, Kathy, but I'm not positive. But oh my goodness, yeah, that's more than bizarre. That's repulsive. um, but anyway, so I'm a ghost. Eventually, I took that ribbon off, so I didn't look so much like I was from the KKK. Um, so we're trick or treating, and which is I was trying to think who was driving. Might have been, I don't know if it was Kathy was driving. Maybe you can remember this, Kathy. I don't know if it was Kathy driving or my mother driving or I don't know who was driving. But we was in the back seat, me and Morgan, and going to house. That's how you did trick or treating back before COVID days and back before you were worried about people killing you. You went from house to house. You walked up to the door, knocked on the door, and trick or treat, and you had a bag and you got your candy. Well, anyway, I walked up to a house, and a bulldog comes running out and chomps on my leg, bites my leg. And he comes out, running out, and he bites my leg, uh, and chomped down pretty hard. I don't think I was wearing shorts. I think I was wearing jeans, but he got my leg. He broke the skin. Uh, and of course, I'm screaming. And I'm trying to sling the dog off my leg. And so the woman that I guess owned the bulldog, she pulled him inside the house. She said, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry." And then, worst of all, she said she didn't have any candy. So what she gave us, me and Morgan, was pieces of fried chicken wrapped up in paper towel and a couple of paper towels. So we get back in the car, and I'm shivering, and I've stopped crying, but I'm shivering. My leg is hurting, from being bitten by this dog, and I'm looking at the wound. I'm bleeding. Um, so we go to uh, these people we knew, kind of an elderly couple that we knew, and the old man there put some mercurochrome or whatever, we called it monkey blood back in the day, on my bite, the dog bite on my leg, and he cleaned my bite up, put band-aids on it. Um, and that's when Morgan is reaching, looking through the candy and stuff, and he pulls out the fried chicken this lady gave us, and he bit into a chicken leg and says, "Man, this is good." And so I took out my chicken, and it was good. That was some of the best fried chicken I ever ate. And we sat there and ate fried chicken at this couple's house, this old couple's house, and my leg is bandaged up, and eating fried chicken. And let's see here. We've got Fat Sword. How do you say that? Fat Sportsman something. Les, what movie are you working on? Is there anywhere I can watch the original Mahia documentary? I can only find the 5 years later one. Yeah, I don't know about where you can watch that. That my friend Mark, it was put on his channel, and he passed away in 2010. So I don't know if that exists anywhere where you can watch it. What I'm working on is called The List. And it's about two sisters that are basically hunting down former child abusers and to bring them to justice, so to speak. But it doesn't go well. Uh, but yeah, The List. That's the movie I'm working on. But I don't know if there's a place where you could watch God, you're talking about old school there. uh, and is it lost media? I want to watch the original documentary y'all made from 1982. Who are you, Fat Swordsman? Gosh, because we're talking about old school there. That was, good Lord, late 70s, early 80s. We're going way back there. But yeah, I guess you would say it's lost media. I don't even think I have a copy of it where I could watch it. So, but Mark, I think, had put it up on his channel, but I don't know if that channel is still available or not. Because, like I say, he passed away in 2010. So, but yeah, but man, that takes me way back. But yeah, that's the one that sticks out is the Halloween. The Halloween I got dog bit and got fried chicken from the lady that owned the dog, and that was really good fried chicken. So, so, uh, but yeah. I think I eventually just took that damn sheet off. I just went without a costume because that didn't turn out too well, being the ghost. uh, but yeah, and there used to be our school would have what they call a Halloween carnival, and the elementary school I went to, Ross Elementary, which is long gone. That's where I went to school because I'm old. I just turned 59. So we're talking early 70s. I think this is 74, and the story I'm going to tell here. So my school would have what's called a Halloween carnival. And it'd be little games you could play. I think you would pay like 25 cents or something like that, and play a little game like where you had a fishing pole, and it'd be on the other side of some kind of like a piece of cardboard, and you throw the fishing pole, and then they would tie a piece of candy or something to the fishing pole, and you'd get a piece of candy or get a little toy gun or something like that, and be games, hopscotch games and things like that, games you could play, Halloween themed games. So this year, 1974, went to the Halloween Carnival. And it was Halloween. It was Halloween night, Halloween day. Went to this carnival, Halloween Carnival. And it was pouring down rain. Just like a monsoon. But they were still having the carnival because it was all the stuff was indoors, away from the rain. And by the time we got back to the house, our house was underwater because we lived at a house by the lakefront, and it flooded, and our house was underwater. So we spent the night at a neighbor's house, and yeah, Lake Bahia was flooded, which that's happened several times over the years. We had really bad in May of this year. We had the biggest rainfall we've ever had in history. So it flooded several times at the lake. I don't live at the lake out on the lakefront now, but back then I did. And our house flooded. So yeah, Halloween night. Yeah, 1974. And Fat Swordsman says, I'm the one who was talking about bow fishing and a few other things on one of your past streams. Oh, okay. Okay, sir. Well, good. Glad for you to join us. But yeah, I don't know if there's any way you can watch any of those. We had to look and see if maybe Mark's channel is still available somehow. But it's been so long since I've tried to do that. So yeah, I don't know. But yeah, we'll definitely, particularly when we get into October, we'll definitely do more shows where we'll talk about Halloween. We'll talk about Halloween or horror films, of course. We're going to do that anyway, but particularly during Halloween time. Well, Jake, what you got on your mind? What's going on your end?
I don't know, not too much,
You said that you had some interviews that you hadn't posted yet. What interviews are those?
Oh yeah, Brett Wagner, who played, he has the first kill in the 2003 Texas Chainsaw Massacre as Leatherface, and then John Abrahams, who was in Kids, Scary Movie, House of Wax.
Oh, well, cool. And are you said you're going to post those soon, where folks can watch them?
Yeah.
And is that going to be on your Facebook and TikTok page, or one or the other?
Oh, just YouTube.
YouTube. Okay, YouTube. Yeah, that's what I meant. YouTube.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, definitely go and join Jake's channel. And let's see. Kathy says, I found some videos you did on Headrush 87. Yeah, okay, that's my old time YouTube channel, Headrush 87. Speaking of the movie I made with Mark called Gale Headrush Taylor, about a guy that used to be a former roadie for Led Zeppelin. And and then I had a beard and mustache and a hippie wig and all that. Yeah. But yeah, Headrush 87. I need to look that up too. See if that, I guess that's still up at Headrush 87. But yeah, well, I guess we'll kind of getting close to closing up here. This has been a good one. Glad you joined me, Jake. Uh, Give some thought about tomorrow night about maybe doing that basket case watch along. I think that'd be a fun one to do, basket case. Um, I'll talk with Dirk and see if maybe Dirk would be able to join us because we had a good one. You know, the sleepaway camp was good. I watched Sleepaway Camp 2 the other day, and I love that movie. Uh,
Oh, me too.
Oh, Pamela Springsteen, she looks like she's just having a ball in that movie. Uh, and that'd be another watch along. We may do that too someday at Sleepaway Camp 2 because that's another fun watch along. Um, and one thing I noticed about Sleepaway Camp 2 is that when she's killing people, there's almost never any music behind it. There's only a few times there's any music. When you watch it again, see if you notice that. When she's stabbing people or whatever, when she's killing people, there's no music. There's no like, shocking music or anything.
Yeah.
Most of the time, there's nothing. There's no music at all. Um, there's a few scenes there are, but most scenes doesn't have any kind of music behind the kills, which I think is surprising, unusual. Usually there's, shocking music or whatever. But most of the time she's killing people, there's nothing. There's no kind of music at all. Um, which I don't remember noticing that the first few times I saw the movie, but I noticed it this last time. Uh,
I looked for that. That's interesting.
yeah, but yeah, that'd be another fun watch along. Sleepaway Camp 2, but I think Basket Case we could have a lot of fun with Basket Case. So yeah, just give it some thought. And but yeah, you folks out there, thank you everyone that showed up today. You, Jake, and everyone in the audience here. And we'll stay on here a little longer. If anyone has any questions, any comments, any ideas for a future show, that kind of thing. And phone's ringing again. I think it's more spam or whatever.
Oh, good luck.
But yeah, and as I always say, please give us a thumbs up. That helps us get seen. Spread the word if you like what you're seeing here on this show or anything else we're doing. Please spread the word. Like to get other people joining the channel. Join Jake's channel, Eye for Horror, because he has real cool interviews that he gets with stars in horror films and stuff. And really need to get his channel built up because he's got some great stuff. But yeah, it's Friday. Hope you guys are going to have a good weekend. And like I say, if anyone is in Georgia or Florida or whatever, I certainly hope you guys are going to be safe from this hurricane. Yeah, this is the time of year those hurricanes are active. We had the barrel that come through Texas that we turned out to be okay there. But yeah, hope everyone is going to be safe from that. And trying to think if there's anything else to say. But we'll see about what's going to be in the future streams on like the Being Real, maybe a watch along, maybe tomorrow night. And think about other subjects. Like I say, anyone has any ideas from subjects, let me know. Speak up or send me a message or whatever, or comment here. Things we could talk about in the future. Any ideas you might have, Jake? Let me know. And but I guess we'll close here. Thank you, Jake, for joining me. I'm sorry I did most of the talking, like I always do, but certainly appreciate you joining me. And like I say, give some thought about tomorrow night, about doing a watch along tomorrow night. And but I'll see you soon, Jake. I'll see everybody soon. Have a good weekend. Stay safe. Be kind to one another. Really do that. Be kind to one another. We need each other here. You think about this world and the going to have to elect a new president, and it seems like we're in a divided nation where it's just one side and the other.
Yeah.
We shouldn't be that way. We should be united as Americans and human beings and just be kind to each other and be respectful of each other. I don't want to get on my soapbox, but let's be good to one another. And yeah, uh, no matter who you support, as far as politically or whatever, let's be let's be kind to one another. So, having said that, I'll see you soon, Jake, and I'll see everybody else soon. Have a good weekend, and we will do this again soon.
Hey, take care, my friend.
Thank you, sir. Bye bye.